Caution, the following video may contain offensive content. Viewer discretion is advised, especially among children, family members, and future employers. Enjoy.
Hey there, I'm Dalton Paul, aka Punk Monkey Dynamite, formerly known as the Humble Gamer, formerly known as Han YOLO. So I'm a bit late with this Star Wars review, but that doesn't change the fact that I am very excited to make this. I have been dying to do a Star Wars video game review for some time now. So today, I'm going to be taking a look at the classic Star Wars PlayStation 2 game... Oh God, no. Mesa and Big Doo-Doo this time. Haven't you always wanted to play a Star Wars kart racer? And if you did, how about limiting it to just characters from the Phantom Menace? Isn't that what fans have always wanted? Yeah, okay, probably not. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that Star Wars Super Bombad Racing is targeted towards younger audiences. It was developed by a subsidiary of LucasArts called Lucas Learning, who made several educational Star Wars games for the PC, such as Star Wars Math Jabba's Game Galaxy and Star Wars Jar Jar's Journey Adventure Book. God help us all. However, the only game that they developed for consoles was Star Wars Super Bombad Racing for the PlayStation 2. And by the looks of the box art, we're in for a real treat. So here's the main title screen you see after popping this piece of shit in your PS2. Why is Boss Nass out in front as if he's the main character or something? Is he the most memorable character from the Phantom Menace? This guy? The second thing I can't help but notice is the music. It ain't all that great to say the least. It sounds like the audio designers for the game took John Williams' original movie score and then adapted it into this horrible mishmash of PBS Kids sounding bullshit. The sound the selector makes also manages to insult my intelligence. You first select your game type. The main ones are race, challenge, and arena. Race is exactly what it sounds like, your standard track racing like any other racing game ever. Arena is a game mode in which you select your character and duke it out against your opponents, using the in-game power-ups in an open area until you're the last one standing. Just take my word for it, it sucks ass. The race mode is what we're going to be sticking to. After all, it is Super Bombad Racing. And by the way, for anyone out there who isn't quite up to snuff on their Gungan slang, the term bombad is used to describe something that is superior or superb. So while an average human street thug might say something like, "Hey man, that car is hella dope," a Gungan street thug might say something like, "Hey Ursa, that bongo is a very bombad." Yeah, I pretty much hate myself right now. But if you really want to get your cringe on, check out Wikipedia's list of common Gungan words and phrases. I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so who's on the Bombad Racing roster? Well, we have young Anakin Skywalker, young Obi-Wan Kenobi, Yoda, Sebulba, Queen Amidala, Boss Nass, Darth Maul, and of course, Jar Jar Binks. All of which have the big head, little body, and vehicle art style that is common in kart racers. Each character is voiced, unfortunately, and all the characters have fill-in voice actors with the exception of Jake Lloyd and Ahmed Best, who reprise their roles from the film as Anakin and Jar Jar. On a side note, did you guys hear about how Jake Lloyd was arrested last June for reckless driving and resisting arrest? And recently he was admitted to a psychiatric facility for schizophrenia. Poor kid. Each of the characters say something when you select them from the menu screen and will also banter with opponents during gameplay. They recite a few short lines depending on different circumstances. Yoda's not too bad, they made an effort at least. Sebulba's also decent. But the worst by far is Obi-Wan.
What a pitiful life form.
What the f***? Could they over-exaggerate his accent anymore? The characters also shout or scream when falling off a cliff or a building. Here's Obi-Wan's soundbite. Yeah! Why? Han and some of the other rebels hooped and hollered in the original trilogy, but Obi-Wan never carried on like that. He was a Jedi in training, very disciplined. So why does he say yee-haw like some redneck? I guess I didn't realize he was a good old boy.
Just a good old boy.
I'm barely into this game and it's already raising my blood pressure. Each of the characters apparently has a special ability. However, I played through the game without ever realizing this. That's unfortunate. Although, as you could imagine, there are several weapons and power-ups within the game that can be picked up to use against your opponents. If you've played Mario Kart, you pretty much know what to expect. The power-ups in this game are basically Star Wars-themed turtle shells. So let's briefly go over each of these. The training droid is like the red turtle shell in that it homes in and knocks out the closest racer in front of you. The jammer scrambles opponents, or your own, screen for a few seconds. The photon burst allows you to shoot 12 high-energy laser blasts at targets, although I miss pretty much every time. Instead of bombs, there are energy balls balls, or boomas as the Gungans call them, the probe droid seeks out the racer in first place and knocks them out, much like the spiny blue turtle shell. There are several rear trap items, including the ion net and goo traps. There's an invincibility power-up, creatively named Invincibility. And finally, there is the tractor beam pickup, which is your standard slingshot item that is common in kart racers. However, half the time, the damn thing sends you forward into an environmental hazard, wasting all the momentum you've just gained and putting you behind your opponents. What the f***? That doesn't necessarily mean that the controls are all that precise to begin with, because frankly, the handling in this game is balls. I think that the racers are all supposed to have different stats like top speed and acceleration and stuff, but for the most part, they're all pretty shitty across the board. Yoda seems a bit more nimble than the rest, but other than that, I don't really see much of a difference. Saying that the controls suck pretty much wraps it up. Firstly, the turning in this game is incredibly imprecise. Don't expect any hairpin turns if you happen to play this. To add to the frustrating nature of the game, each character has a force field around their vehicle. This could have been a good idea to ward off enemy attacks, but it activates anytime you collide with an object, whether that be an opponent or the environment itself. And when this happens, it bounces you in the opposite direction of your obstacle. Now imagine using the tractor beam pickup of your turbo to get ahead of enemy racers, only to hit obstacles that send you bouncing all over the f***ing place. Come on, that's a bunch of bullshit! The tracks, of course, are all locales from the Phantom Menace, such as the Naboo Swamp, Mos Espa, Coruscant, and the Trade Federation droid control ship, each of which is pretty well represented artistically. Most have NPCs that stand along the sidelines while you race, and some like the Tusken Raiders and Jawas will interfere with the racers by shooting vehicles or shrinking them down. F***ers. You can also plow through some battle droids, which I find pretty entertaining for some reason. Most maps have environmental hazards such as pitfalls and giant boulders that roll back and forth in a canyon. However, with the controls, some levels are just hazards in themselves. Coruscant and the power station have so many pitfalls, it's insane. Look at this level. You are inevitably going to fall off the track because it's so narrow. How are you supposed to race over such a small area when your vehicle's handling is so slippery? This pisses me off to no end. Then you have levels like Mos Espa and the droid control ship that just has so much in the way, your odds of navigating this mess are 3,720 to 1. It's like a bomb went off, sending flying everywhere, and then someone's like, alright, let's race. Track progression follows the events of the movie for the most part, and as long as you place third or higher, another track is unlocked in the circuit. You can also change racers as you progress, which I'm definitely thankful for, because I wouldn't want to be stuck with any of these assholes for the entire game. At the beginning of each level, there's a short animation of characters in the map. It's all in that cutesy style, and most of it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so what significance do we have from seeing that? And look at this, Jabba doesn't even open his mouth to spit at that gong. And for f***'s sake, who is this woman? She has like one line in the movie. All she does is tell Anakin that a sandstorm is coming, yet I distinctly remember seeing her in coloring books and as a kid. Okay, so her name is Jira, and she befriended Anakin after he offered to find her an air conditioner or something? Aw, who gives a So after sinking more time into this game than I'm willing to mention, I managed to unlock all the tracks. So what happens next? Did I beat it? Well, no, now there's a galaxy circuit I can compete in, but I'm assuming it's just all the tracks I just played, and I ain't doing that over again. Evidently, if you finish the galaxy circuit playing as Anakin, you unlock Darth Vader and his TIE fighter, which is pretty cool, but I don't have the patience for that bullshit.
So instead, let's try out some cheat codes.
There are two more characters you can unlock via cheats. One is the droid battle tank known as the AAT, and the other one is Boba Fett in Slave 1. That's pretty cool, I guess. Luckily, they didn't give him a shitty voice like they did Obi-Wan. Alright, so what else is on the list? Okay, girl power is enabled now? What the f does that do? I'm assuming I should race as Queen Amidala. Let's check this shit out. Okay, I seriously see no difference. Moving on. Make all racers Cadu? Alright, what's a Cadu? Okay, those things. You know, those things. Oh my god, they're on flying treadmills. This is ridiculous and amazing. Listen, listen. The horn button is now the sound they make. Oh, this is great. But they had to ruin it by having another nearly identical cheat. With this one, you race as these shock creatures. Shock? Shack? I don't know. Now it's just these chickpeas with legs on flying treadmills. Kind of blew my load on the last cheat, so this one isn't doing it for me.
Alright, it, I'm just gonna put in a shitload of cheat codes and see what happens.
All right, here we go. Backward facing mode enabled, super spinning mode enabled, infinite boost mode enabled, super speedy mode enabled, and finally slip and slide mode enabled. All right, let's do this shit.
Wait, why am I so small?
Jesus Christ! This is fucking crazy! What the hell just happened? I finished the race already? This is fucking nuts, man! Look, 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 I'm flying off the map! Alright, no, there I am, I'm back. No, there I go again. This is seriously the way the game was meant to be played. I'm now in Bombad Limbo. See that? That's the map. These small icons are all the other racers. And this is me. Let's see how far I can get away from the map. Just a little farther, and yeah, I've left the screen. Mission accomplished.
This is seriously amazing. The racers are bouncing all over the place. This should be a drinking game. For real. Get a bunch of your friends together, toss a few back, enter in as many cheats as possible, and see who finishes first. That would be one hell of a time.
Star Wars Super Bombad Racing isn't all that bad. Sure, it's a Star Wars kart racer that no one really wanted, but I'm sure it was a great game for kids to play back in 2001. After all, Super Bombad Racing's project leader, Michael McCormick, said that Lucas Learning's goal was to make a game that a kid could pick up and just play, enjoying the spirit and the art style. I'd say that goal was most likely achieved. It's fun and simplistic enough for younger children to have a good time with. Although I feel like Lucas Learning had the opportunity here to make a fairly decent racing game that even older audiences could enjoy. I might be going out on a limb here, but imagine if they had used original trilogy characters and had 2 racers to a vehicle, kinda like Mario Kart Double Dash. They could have had Han and Chewie in the Falcon, Luke and Ben in the Land Speeder, I don't know, Leia and Wicket on the Swoop Bike, and they still could have even used Episode 1 characters like Anakin and R2 in the Naboo Starfighter, Qui-Gon and young Obi-Wan in whatever ship that is, and even have Darth Maul and Sidious in the Sith Infiltrator. Boom. That could have been a pretty good game. I'm not going to completely bash Super Bombad Racing, but if you want some good Star Wars racing, try out one of the Pod Racer games. I have Star Wars Racer Revenge for PS2, and I actually think it's pretty good. You can play as a teenage Anakin or Sebulba, or even some of the lesser known racers from the Phantom Menace like Ben Quaderneros or Gasgano. It's fast, it's more violent, and it's not half bad.
Mars Glow, taking his lumps out there.
Star Wars Super Bombad Racing is definitely a unique specimen among Star Wars games. Lucas Learning tried something new in the world of Star Wars gaming and its reception was mixed. Oh well. It'll live on through random people like me who pick it up and say, "What the hell is this?" Let's give it a try. I'm Dalton Paul, aka Punk Monkey Dynamite. Remember to stay humble and keep gaming. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.